Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so happy you're here. Hope your month has gotten off to a great start and you're ready to do some fall crafting. I am sharing some projects I have created for the Twisted Thursday challenge, where our optional twist is October holidays and colors. And it is a prize month there, and our prize is sponsored by Decosse's Dynamite Doodles. In order to be eligible for our prize, you must follow our optional twist. Again, October holidays and colors. Please see our blog for details, and I will have that in the box below, a link where you can click and go on over and check that out. So let's take a look here at the cards I have created for this challenge. In addition to these cards, I have also done some thinking of you cards. I will link that below, as well as a Halloween bag, and I have a video for that, and I'll link that below. So I've done quite a few projects with this paper kit. It is very versatile. Very versatile. Our team received a sampling of the kit, and just from the sampling I was able to get some very different looking projects, and you'll see that the variety and the versatility is wonderful. All right, so this card on the right is a very simple one layer piece that I have just adhered onto a card blank, and this one on the left is a little more complex. It has a one piece background with a little glitter tape, but then it has this little pumpkin popping up off on a spring, so it's sort of interactive. Let's take a look at how we put these together in Cricut Design Space. I want to start by sharing where the images came from. I have my text, and that is Standy Retro, and it is free from Creative Fabrica. All of the digipapers and elements are from Decosse's Dynamite Doodles. And the pennant that I'm using up there, this green piece right here, is from the Cricut Access, and it is from Wildcard. All right, let's pull up a new screen and let's talk about card number 1. When I made this card, I decided it might be easier to import the sheet of paper rather than to use the print then cut operation up here. So I started off by just importing the sheet of paper into images. So let me show you how I did that in case you're unfamiliar. It's just like importing an image. There's absolutely no difference. I have here on my screen the sheet of paper. I'm going to come down and click Upload. Upload an image. I'm going to bring that in. Then I'm going to come over and click Continue. I'm not going to do anything to it. It's ready. Then I'm going to choose Flat Graphic, Continue. I will name it, and I already have, and I can add tags if I like. And then I click Upload. It may take a minute to upload, so just be patient. Then when it comes in, it'll come in pretty big. So you can resize it either by using your toggle or coming here and just typing in, for example, 8. And it'll be at 8 inches then. All right, now let me show you why this is advantageous for us. Let's come over and let's get a shape. I'm going to choose a square. Now this is something new in Cricut Design Space. We need to click this to make the shapes go away. They don't automatically go away anymore. So we click and that went away. I'm going to choose the size that I would like this front rectangle to be, and I'm just going to eyeball it. Obviously, when you make your card, you can make it any size you like. It's approximately 3 by 3 by 4.4. I'm going to bring it over And I'm just going to choose a part of the orange that this fits without including any black. I'm going to pick up the 2 by swiping over, come down, slice. I automatically have the piece of orange. So easy. I didn't have to go and edit to get the black out. No problems whatsoever. Now to get my little pumpkin here, all I have to do is make this a little bit smaller, come in and choose where I want to cut out of this piece of paper, just as if you were taking a pair of scissors and cutting. So I know I want to cut this pumpkin out. I can move this to the back and I can see exactly what I'm going to cut. So I choose my little square and I bring it through, and I can see that that's going to be, my square is too big. So I can just manipulate that. Again, choose my square, bring them back in, and that will be wonderful. Choose the 2 and slice. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead and delete these. Bring my front panel over, bring my little pumpkin over. I'm going to make him a little bit bigger. I'm going to swipe over both, come to align bottom, click align again, and align left. Just to be sure that nothing moves, I'm going to take these 2, I'm going to group them and set that aside for a moment. My Halloween sentiment was created simply by coming over to text, left click, type in Halloween at my keyboard. I'm going to move it over here so you can see it, because I'm coming over here. And again, this is a system font. It's from Creative Fabrica, and it's called Standy Retro. So I'm going to type in STAN, and there it is. Right now, isn't that fun? I'm going to curve that. So I'm going to come up here to curve, and we have an upward curve and we have a downward curve. I'm going to move this little piece towards the downward. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to size it down, bring it around again, and I'm going to rotate this. Right now, this is a basic cut. I'm going to come in, left click, and duplicate. On this piece that I've duplicated, I'm going to turn that into a print then cut. So I'm going to click this basic cut, click print then cut, click the black square, color, pattern. I'm going to use the green pattern that came with my kit from Decosse's Dynamite Doodles. Come in, I'm going to offset that a little bit. And you know what? I would like this gray back here, the basic cut gray, to be black. I think it will show up better. You'll notice this is sort of a gray. I'm going to go to the black. There we go. I like that a little bit better. I'm going to take all of that. I'm going to swipe over, make it just a bit bigger. Pull it in, and I'm going to swipe over everything now and flatten. Our front piece is done. Now, all I did then is I offset it, and I can move this back and forth to slide it. I'm going to go with sharp corners, maybe just a little bigger. There we go. Apply. And that gives me this black edge. Now I want this chevron piece, again from Decosse's Dynamite Doodles. So I know that I want that 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to come and get some shapes. I'm going to get a square. I'm going to make that go away. I'm going to type a 4, unlock, typing in 5.5. 0.25. Bring this over here. I'm going to come over to Operation, make that a print then cut. Click my gray square, left click color, left click pattern, and there's my chevron. Now you can see there's a line right here. I don't want that line. So let's come in and edit the pattern. And again, if you prefer, you could bring in the whole sheet of paper and just cut it. But let's do it this way this time. And I'm just gonna make it really big. And maybe that's a little bit too big. So let's come over to the vertical. Let's move it down because that's where that line was. Let's come up here, toggle it down just a little bit. That looks great. X. And we'll move it to the back. Now our front cover is done. Let's move that aside and let's talk about the insert. We're going to come in, we're going to pick a shape, square, again click this to make that go away. I normally make my inserts a width of 3.75 with a height of 5 inches. And that'll fit right inside the card then. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this while I'm here. I'm going to take a second piece and I'm going to make it 3.75 by 0.75. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to duplicate this piece. I'm going to make it 3.75 by 0.9. I'm going to make this one black, this one white. So I'm just coming over to the color square here and clicking the colors I like. This one, I'm going to bring in that chevron pattern. So I'm coming to basic cut, turning it into a print then cut, coming over to the black square, clicking, click color, click pattern, pick up the pattern. Obviously that's not very pretty, so let's jump it up a little bit and you can make that as large as you like. I'm going to bring in my piece there, bring in my decorative piece, bring it to the front. I'm going to take and swipe over everything. I'm going to align top. I'm going to align, you can align left, right, whatever you want to do there. Everything is selected right now, so I'm going to flatten that. And there we are. I made the black piece a little bit bigger on this one than I did this one. That's okay. For the happy haunting, I did it exactly the same way I did here. I just did not curve. So here we go. Text. Happy haunting. I did put these closer together. I did that by coming up to line space, clicking the down arrow, and you have to keep clicking. You can't hold it down. You have to click, 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 click until you get it where you like it. Going to bring that in like this, change the size. This is a basic cut. I'm going to left click, duplicate. I'm going to come back here to the operation, make it a print then cut. I'm going to turn it green, so I'm going to click color, click pattern, come to our green paper. You can always edit that and make it bigger or smaller if you want more texture in there. I'm going to come in and offset that a little bit. This one I actually did differently, so let me show you exactly what I did there. So you have two options. You can offset it this way, you can do whatever you like, or you can actually do an offset up here. I took it down to the 0. I went to my keyboard, I clicked twice, right. So I used my right arrow, clicked twice. That gave me a 0.028, hit apply. I'm going to make sure that truly is my black color. And now I'm going to bring that in. if you want to make sure this is exactly centered, you can swipe over the entire thing, come up to Align, and just hit center. That gives you room to sign your name and write a little message down there if you like. Swipe over the entire thing, flatten, and we're done with this card. We're ready to put it together. Let's take a look at card number 2. Card number 2 is a lot of fun because it's an interactive card, but I'm keeping it simple in its design here in Cricut Design Space and putting it all into one layer that I can put onto the card base and then add our spring element. This white piece is our card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. However, it is a piece 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 folded over to create the card base. Next is a black layer that will start out as a square shape. Click to make that go away. Let's come up here. We're going to unlock. Our width will be 4. Height 5 1/4. Typing this into the keyboard. I'm going to turn that black over here at our color square. That one is done. Here is our pennant from Wild Card. And again, that's in our Cricut images over here. I'm going to bring that over. And I know that I want the height on that to be the same as this. But first, let's rotate it 270. So we want this 270. We're going to rotate that. Now, I want to keep this locked, and I want to make the height of this going from here to here. I want that to be the same as from here to here, which is 5 1/4. I'm going to move these out of the way. But remember, we rotated it. So we're going to type it in on the width, 5.25. Doing that at the keyboard. And now you can see that that matches that. So I'm going to decide here, I'm going to move it to the front by right-clicking and then left-clicking. And I want my white, that's this layer right here, to come in about that far. I'm just eyeballing, okay? I'm going to duplicate this black square just by selecting it, right-click, duplicate. I'm just going to pull this over. I'm going to make it bigger, longer. I'm going to set it right here. And I'm going to pull this one away. Take these two, and I'm going to slice. I'm going to change this from green to white. And there's that layer. Now, I'm going to duplicate this white layer. All right, duplicate. And I want it to come up about right in here. So again, I'm just going to bring this piece in, make it bigger, come in, choose these two, and I'm going to slice. Pull these away. And all of that now is trash. I can throw all of that away. I can delete it. So now we have our 4 by 5 1/4. We have our white, and we have this layer. But we need to come in on this layer, and we need to go to Basic Cut, make it a print thin cut by left-clicking. Click the white box, left-click color, left-click pattern, and there's our spooky eyes. But we have right there, see that where we have 2 sets? That's where the paper pattern repeats. Let's go in and edit this by making it bigger. Now I still have it where it's repeating, so I'm going to come over to the vertical and I'm going to scooch it down, and there it's the repeat right there, so we need to make it a little bigger. Now we're going to scooch it up. Perfect. All right, this orange strip. You can put that on, or you could add sparkle tape, do whatever you like. Let's say you don't have any sparkle tape, all right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to duplicate this again, duplicate, and I'm just going to take it down this way. Let's make it about, I don't know, maybe 0.5. We can come back up here and we can just make it orange. If you want to use the paper that you have brought in, you certainly could do that. You would just go to print and cut, go to your orange, color, pattern, there it is. You see that it brings in the black. You have a choice. You could either forego that and go back and get your piece that you imported as a square, remember, for card 1, or you can go ahead and just edit this pattern, make it really huge, and just come down here, and there we go. We're going to take all of this now, select it all, come over to your align left. Now you can align top or bottom because they're all the same height, and flatten. That's going to print now as one piece. This little guy, all we have to do for him is just offset him. I like to offset about, let's see, I think I did about a 0.083. Apply. That will be a standard cut, just a basic cut in gray. That's done. So your little pumpkin will print and cut, but this little piece will be a separate piece just out of gray cardstock. Happy Halloween! The same thing we did for card number 1. Okay, so that pretty much completes these cards. Let's head on over to the craft table. Let's put these together. First off, let's go over our ingredient list here. I have some double score tape, some copper wire, which if I were to do this again, I might use a heavier wire than I did. The pen is simply used as a wrap for the wire. Here are all of my printed and cut pieces. I've already put double score on the backs. I have my card blanks. Here are pieces for my springs. They're just little circles. And there are the pumpkin cuts and card inserts. All right, so let's get started. Very simple. Card number 1. All I did was tape the pieces into place and it was done. Card number 2, again, tape the pieces into place. There's the outside. Now I'm going to use a little bit of that decorative tape. I'm going to go over the card insert, fold it over the edges, and then I will go ahead and add a little bit to the outside just for a little added sparkle. Gonna insert the card insert into the middle, and that's it. They're done. Now let's work on our little copper wire spring. If I were to do this again, I would use a heavier wire possibly, and I would not put so many coils in. You'll see that I poked a hole in the middle. Don't do that. Don't make my mistake. Poke it more near the edge. That way, when you insert the wire, the spring will fall into the middle of your circle, and that's where we really want it. So what I'm going to do here is insert the wire into 2 of the tabs, 1 on each side. Again, I would not use so many coils. Then, once you've done that, you're going to add some double score and glue to your other circles. And let's place 1 circle on each side, and then that will complete your spring. I'm using both double score and I'm using Fabri-Tac, because I like the flexibility of being able to move those if I don't get them centered exactly. And if you just use double score tape, that sticks so quickly that you don't have any flexibility to move anything. I'm adding some double score now to the spring element, and I've added some to my pumpkin, and I will go ahead and adhere the pumpkin to my little piece of gray cardstock. Now it's time to add my spring to the pumpkin. And there we go. And now we're almost done. We just place it on the card and it is done. And this makes for a fun interactive card for Halloween. All right. Any comments or questions, please leave them in the box below. I will leave a material list in that box below, as well as links to the blog challenge and links to other YouTube videos for cards that I made for this project. Before we go, this is a digital layout I did for this challenge using the Decosse's Dynamite Doodles papers. Hey, any comments or questions, you can leave those in that box below, and I'm happy to answer. We did a lot in Cricut Design Space today, and I thank you for hanging with me. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.